to dig deeper if you want to find the purpose.
Thank you, Leticia. Good afternoon, everyone. You in the house? Are you here? Are you here for the tacos? Are the tacos aight? Yeah? Professor's not supposed to say things like aight, but I just said aight, aight? You with me? How many of you love hip-hop? How many of you can't live without hip-hop? Right? Dr. Pancho Mc Farland loves hip-hop. Right? Hip-hop and rap culture have influenced the way he sees, thinks, feels, bobs his head, and the way he dresses when he's not at work, although today he's dressed like he loves hip-hop, right? Which you can't get away with that every day, you know. Right? When he's not work here as associate professor of sociology at Chicago State, the beauty of his dedication and respect of hip-hop is that he wouldn't be a professor at Chicago State if it weren't for this love of hip-hop. Now, how you figure, Professor Lansana? Because he loves hip-hop so much that he studied it, right? His love of hip-hop and his commitment to brown and black youth and youth culture, right? That he's written a groundbreaking book and laid the foundation for a successful career in life based on something he loves. But to love anyone or anything means one must respect, understand, and be open to its positive and negative aspects. Whether that's a boyfriend, ladies, a girlfriend, fellas, parents, or hip-hop. Very few things in life, and let me make sure I say this again to all of you who are listening, very few things in life are all good. In his book, Chicano Rap, Dr. Mc Farland offers the first, now let me say that again, the first in-depth look at how Chicana youth have adopted and adapted rap music and hip-hop culture. I'm sorry, did I say this was the 15th book? No, this is the first book, so think about that. If you love something so much, you study it, you learn about it, you examine its positive and its negatives, and then he writes the first book that's been published in the history of hip-hop, in the history of brown and black youth culture about Chicano rap. That's big. Let's give him some love just on that. Because that's big. No one has done this work before. Not in as comprehensive and in thorough of a manner as Dr. Mc Farland has done. No one. Right? He examines over 500 songs and 70 rap artists. How many of you have listened to 500 hip-hop songs? Can you name them all? I bet this kid with the earphones can name them all, right? And for over 500 songs and 70 rap artists from all the major Chicano rap regions, San Diego, San Francisco, and Northern California, Texas, and Chicago and the Midwest. He discusses the cultural, political, historical, and economic contexts in which Chicano rap has emerged and how these have shaped Chicano rap and Chicano hip-hop. We're very, very lucky to have him here as an assistant professor of sociology at Chicago State University, and we're also very, very honored to have Krazy Race in the house from that other side of the country, so you're going to hear from him in a minute too. But please give some love to my homeboy, to a very, very smart man, Dr. Pancho Mc Farland.
Thanks, Koresh. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see you here. I'm happy to be here with you all. I'm honored to be in your presence. I'm honored to be here talking to you on the same event that brought some fantastic and wonderful writers, Latino and Latina writers. We want to encourage you to go out and see all these folks. People like read their books. Junot Diaz and Victor Villaseñor and Luis Rodriguez have been here, and I'm humbled that they chose me to come and talk a little bit to you on this same event. And I'm excited that you guys are here because I want you to come to CSU and take my classes, okay, in a couple years. I want everybody to take my classes. We got classes on on Chicano culture, on Latino culture, we got a class on hip hop that we're getting ready to start, and there's actually a couple of them at this university. This is the place to be. I want to try to convince you of that, and hopefully your tour will have convinced you. But I want to talk about art today and literature. I want to talk about it in relationship to my book, in relationship to all of us. Okay, this is the book, by the way, that Koresh mentioned. I'm happy to show you. I want to talk about art because this book, what this book does is it celebrates art and artists. The first thing you see on the book is a nice, what is this? A nice painting by a friend of mine, Ernesto Marquez. Ernesto grew up in New Mexico like I did, and he grew up on the east side. And the east side of Raton, Nuevo Mexico is the side you're not supposed to go on. And it's the side where they forget people. It's the side where they don't expect much out of you. But we all have talent, and when we work on that talent, we get somebody to believe in us, we can be artists, and we can be writers, and we can be anything that we want. And Ernesto became an artist, and this is his art. Right? When you look inside the book, you see several photographs as well. Here's a few. There's about 12 photographs in this book. These guys came from Los Angeles, and they got talent. They were told, just like the rest of us were told, that, you know, perhaps college isn't for you, perhaps a career isn't for you, maybe you ought to learn to be a mechanic or something like this, right? But we had art inside us, and one of the major contributors in terms of the photographs is a man by the name of Sal Rojas. And Sal runs, he does all kind of stuff. He takes photographs. He runs a great website that you all should check out called Brown Pride Online. Right? And I got one of his shirts today on the occasion.